On Wednesdays at 7, sharp as can be, Blue Gal's calling, come knit with me.
Hey guys, Blue Gal here. The reason the curtain behind me is a little bit off is Olive has turned that into his private vision tent to look out the window and be surrounded by curtain on 3 sides. So secret hiding place, nobody knows he's there. I have exciting knitting to share with you today. Last time I was here, which was 2 weeks ago, I showed you this sweater, and I had it done doing a top-down sweater to the underarms. And I was getting ready to do the body. And I am now, 2 weeks later, done with the body, done with completely with one of the sleeves, and I think I've got maybe 12 or 13 rows to do left to do. Yeah, there's my markers before that sleeve's done. And then I will pretty soon I'll get to do my happy dance. And the song goes, I get to do my happy dance, happy dance, happy dance. I get to do my happy dance because my sweater is done. This sweater is for youngest child who is coming home tomorrow to try this sweater on and to take mom out to dinner for mom's birthday, which is in July, but none of my kids are going to be here in July. So middle child and youngest child are in the area, and they're going to take me out to dinner tomorrow night and try on the sweater, even though it's 104 degrees. It feels like 104 degrees outside. I'm going to make youngest child try this on. I don't want to work on the front button bands and neckline. It goes up all the way around the neck and a rib with this additional green going around the neck. I don't want to work on that until I'm sure this sweater is long enough. And I did do 11 inches. Oh, gotta just hold it up again. I did 11 inches past the underarm before I did the ribbing. So this is, it's a squared off sweater. If they want a longer cardigan, then I'm going to rip this back, and I have enough yarn to add another few inches. But I want to make sure before I do that. But I also want to talk about, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, my goal was to find out if I could knit a sweater in a month. And I did set that deadline. I started the sweater on May 28th, so I've got 4 more days. This is the 24th. I'm recording on the 24th. 4 more days. And I think, I've done really well reaching that goal. Having that goal has been an amazing experience in terms of just focusing on getting this done. And just sticking to a really boring brown stockinette size 8 needles top down sweater with very little ornamentation except for the stripe in the ribbing, and it'll go, like I said, it'll go around the neck as well. And I've learned a lot, and I knew I would. The thing is, I am, as you may know if you watch this podcast, a very, very experienced sock knitter. I knit a pair of socks every month. And this is the sock for June. And by the way, this is second sock week on Blue Sky. I didn't print out the picture that I did, the AI picture I did, but the last week of every month, I encourage my knitting friends on Blue Sky to finish that second sock, because I'm always finishing a second sock. This is the Stripes Rainbow Pride sock. It is a Joanne Fabrics yarn that's self-striping. And it's, what is it, K&C, I think it is. Yeah, KC. It is KC. Sock Star in classic rainbow stripe. Yeah, classic rainbow stripe. So I as I said before, wasn't sure about this white in the middle, but it's fine. And I'm knitting the second sock to match, and I'm past the heel into the foot already. And that is my stopping point for, okay, I want to work on this sock on the weekend. If I get it past the heel and the instep, then I know I can zoom through on a weekend and get it done. So, but I know that's the point. I know what my capabilities are in terms of sock knitting because I've done it so often. And so I want to get in the habit. I want to get in the habit of knowing how long it takes me to knit a sweater, because knowing that helps me set that goal, have that joyful song in my head that I'll finish the sweater. And that's the point. The point is to have fun and enjoy it, and enjoy finishing something and being able to wear it or have the recipient wear it. I want to be very clear with my audience that this is not about linking your self-worth to productivity. This is about avoiding frustration with lingering projects, but also having the joy and the dopamine that comes from finishing a sweater or finishing a pair of socks or hat or whatever. Finishing something is very, very fun. And I know there are imperfection stresses and feeling that, fear of judgment, or it's not going to be perfect, all the kind of things that hold us back from finishing any artistic endeavor. We know that no hand knit piece is perfect. That's the beauty of it, is it's handmade. And so what I want to emphasize here is pride in your personal creation and creativity, and being able to put that creativity on display by finishing something. It's not art sitting in a bag in a closet. It is art out on the street wearing it. And for me, that's become the exciting part. And that's growth for me. I've had years, and part of it is having kids. I mean, I have 3 children, and finally they're all out of the house, and I have time to actually work on what I want to work on, and also I have time to finish things. But I've also grown as a creator to the point of knowing, yeah, I have the discipline to finish this, and I'm going to finish it. So it is a journey. I hate that word in that context, but it is. It's a journey. It's being present with what you're working on right now. And I have found, quite frankly, that while I've been working on this and knowing that I wanted to finish it in about a month, I've put my phone on a table on the other side of the room or in my office and kept my phone away from me while working on this. I did have an advantage. My husband and I got the DVD set of I, Claudius, which is 13 episodes. And we binged that in the last 4 days. So that was a lot of knitting time. But my phone sometimes has to go in the other room because it's a distraction. And I really wanted to knit during I, Claudius. So that's what I did. So that's one way of being present with it and still being able to watch something. And I mean, this is stockinette. The sweater is stockinette. It's not something I have to look at a chart. It's not something I have to follow along. I do have to count a little bit with the sleeves. That a lot of people have been talking this week and last week on Ravelry or on Blue Sky, about why do sleeves take so long? It's the counting. It's the decreases in the counting. That's why it takes so long. So 1 month sweater projects is what I'm going to be working on in the future. I have an unfinished sweater that I'm going to work on later this year. It's a top down. It's at the armholes. It's it has lace up here, and so the bottom half is boring stockinette. But now that I have this kind of technique of set a deadline and really put your phone away and set a goal and realizing that goal is it feeds the creativity and feeds the discipline at the same time. I'm gonna keep trying that technique. But next month, July, is sock month. I have to do some socks. You've seen the June socks. Those will be done by the end of this month, which we've got what? Actually, a week from today is July 1st. So those will be done. And tomorrow, youngest child will be here to try on the sweater. I may also put an afterthought pocket in that sweater. There's a lot of fiddly bits to do with that. July 20th is sock week, which is when I learned how long it takes me to knit a sock. Sock week is done by Knitty Natty. I've talked about this several times. The theme for Knitty Natty Sock Week this year is Ice Cream Social. And so I am going to be knitting the Ice Cream Sundae socks. This is by Sarah Dawn, and this is the picture of kind of showing you the yarn overs and knit two togethers. It is not a cable. It is yarn overs and knit two togethers. And this is Nana Kathy's version on Ravelry. And I'm going to be knitting it. I did wind the yarn. This is, again, more K&C sock yarn. This is in the colorway Cotton Candy Splash. Very ice creamy. And this is a little bit bittersweet now because I did fish out of the recycling a 31 flavors Baskin Robbins bag to use as my project bag for this product, or for this project. And since I fished that out of there, a car crashed into our local Baskin Robbins and the building collapsed. Yeah, the whole building collapsed. That's the Baskin Robbins that my husband took our kids to while bike riding. That's how close it is to our house. And it's gone. They're going to have to raise the whole building. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they rebuild a Baskin Robbins, because that ice cream place is a institution in our neighborhood. But I have a bag. And so this is RIP Baskin Robbins, at least temporarily, and in honor of the Springfield, Illinois Baskin Robbins on MacArthur Boulevard. How sad is that? That building was not up to code. All right, so those socks are going to be, I don't know when I'm going to start them. One sock I have to start on the 20th and knit it in a week, because that's the rule of sock week. I don't know whether I'll start the first sock before that or not. I have two other socks that I want to knit in July. This one is, I have a couple, friends who are a couple, put it that way. And do I have the pattern here? Hold on. I don't know if I have the pattern here. I thought I did. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Anyway, oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. The Grocery Girls theme for July is shorties, knit short socks. And so I'm going to knit the band heel socks, which are shorties. And I have a little different heel treatment from what I'm used to, but I think it'll be fun. They're cute. The woman in this couple is allergic to wool. And so I'm going to be knitting them in Berocco Comfort Sock, which is a superfine nylon acrylic blend, 50-50. This colorway is 1822. It's very bright yellows and pinks, little green and white in there too. Very much goes with this person's personality. This couple's very knit worthy, I must say. And so I've been planning to knit for her from I got this yarn for her to knit her a pair of socks. And I told her I was going to do it. And the guy in the couple got wind of this and said, "Where's my socks?" And he's knit worthy too. So I'm going to try to do these both in a month. Shorties won't take long. But I found this yarn, and this is really, I think this is a Malabrigo sock. I'm not sure, but the color is very nice. It's greens and reds. There we go. And masculine, and I think appropriate. And so, but these might not get done until August. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. The ones that have a deadline are the shorty socks for grocery girls and the ice cream sock, one sock for, let's see if I can get that closer. I think that's a really pretty color. For the in honor of Baskin Robbins and for Sock Week. And then we'll get to these. And so but I think that's it. I think July, I think that I just have to say that's where I'm at, is socks. And that's fine because I like knitting socks. And then I'll get back to sweaters and some scarves and so forth. But I really do believe in confidence when it comes to knitting and finding building blocks for how you gain that confidence. And you only gain that confidence, I've only gained that confidence through repetition. And it's so funny because I think sometimes we get hung up and we stop knitting something because we fear judgment of it not being perfect. And then we continually judge ourselves for having unfinished projects. So it's an absolute evil circle. So I don't know what, and I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself. Embracing imperfections is a big part of what I need to do because I am a perfectionist when it comes to like, oh, I made it. I have to really make sure it looks great. And then, so I have to embrace the fact that, oh no, these are hand knit socks. They're supposed to look handmade. And just have that discipline. That's really it, is deadlines for me work, obviously, at this stage in my life. And that's a good thing to learn. For me, it works. I want to read something today. I always end with something to read. But I didn't realize that Elizabeth Zimmerman's very famous statement, knit on with confidence and hope through all crises, actually is part of a longer paragraph. And so I'm going to read the paragraph to you today. And I read this through and I hung on every word. So it meant something to me. I hope it means something to you as well. Elizabeth Zimmerman. Knit on with confidence and hope through all crises. When you knit anything, you're not just making a garment, you're crafting a story. Each stitch represents a moment of your life, a meditation in a sense. The act of knitting connects you to others who have knit and will knit through time. Embrace the imperfections of the work. They are proof of its handmade nature and your unique contribution to the craft. Every stitch, I'm adding that, every stitch, unquote, contribution to the craft, unquote. Every stitch represents a moment of your life. How important is that? It's really important. So it is second sock week. If you're working on socks, work on those socks. I'm going to work on my second sock, but I'm going to finish this sleeve first. And I hope you guys are having a good week and stay cool and focus on your knitting. So many people on Blue Sky are saying, while the world's burning, I'm sitting here working on my little craft. And I finally realized, by the way, this is a good thing to end on. I finally realized today that the emotional support chickens aren't so that you can hold a chicken. They're so you can knit a chicken. It took me this long to realize that because I'm not someone that knits a lot of toys. But I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's not so that you can have a chicken. It's so you can knit a chicken. At least for me, that's what it would be for, is knitting a chicken. Okay, will you discuss that amongst yourselves in comments? And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
On Wednesdays at 7, sharp as can be, blue gals calling, come knit with me.